Good morning. Hi, guys. So, today I'm doing something different. I am chatting with you while I'm driving. We're going to chat and ride, and we're going to talk about securing the bag. So, let's just get right into this, right? So, securing the bag. Yeah, I know the bag is money, but securing the bag in my eyes is not going out necessarily and getting all these other things. It is securing the money that you have coming in. It is becoming financially stable with what you have right now. Now, I am never going to tell someone not to start a business and not to increase the different avenues of income that they have. Absolutely not. But I am going to say, if you know that you have a job or a hustle or something that is bringing in finances into your household, into your family, then you need to stabilize that income. You need to just kind of get it together. Just be the boss, be the pack leader when it comes to your money. For a very long time, I just kind of went with the flow with my money. I had way more money going out than I had coming in. I was stealing from Peter to pay Paul. I had kind of mastered paying things exactly right before it became an issue, because I wasn't necessarily living beyond my means. I just hadn't gotten to a place where I could really grab hold of my money. I was a teenage mother. I was always paying daycare. For a very long time, I was a single mom, not just of one child, but of two children. So it was difficult. And in order for me to maintain a lifestyle for them that, didn't require assistance from the government, I had to figure it out. I had to figure it out. And my first job was the bank. It was a really great job, but I wanted to go to school. I wanted to get in the medical field, and that's really how I ended up in the military. So through my journey, I have learned how to get myself to a place where I am now in charge of, there's like a bug in here. I am now in charge of my finances. Do I do it perfectly every time? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It took a lot of trial and error, and there's still trial and error to be had in order for me to get to a place where I've completely mastered it for myself. But I do have some tips to make it easier for my friends out there in the world to kind of get on top when it comes to their finances, to get to a place where they have money still left over at the end of their 2-week cycle before they get paid again. I've been in places where I've had maybe $5 for a few days, and I would let my kids look, this is it. I got $10. That's it. It's tight right now. And I haven't had to do that in a very long time, a very, very, very long time. And I've kind of gotten to a place where it's like, okay. And instead of me just keeping it to myself, I do want to share. I want to share because culturally, our culture doesn't talk about it. My parents didn't talk about it with me. My kids think it's weird that I try to talk about it with them. But it's about breaking a cycle. We can only establish wealth and build wealth and have generational wealth if we talk about it and teach our children and teach them about credit and finances and savings and start them young. So I'm gonna just go ahead and get into the tips and go from there. So, sorry. This is my breakfast coffee banana smoothie. Number one, create a budget. I know. You guys are so tired of hearing me talk about budgeting. But budgeting has allowed me to be in charge of my money, to know where my money is going, for me to say, okay. And when I budget for the entire month, honestly, because I'm on salary, so I already know what's coming in. So I put all of my bills, and I think I have a I might do an updated budget video because I've tweaked it so much. But I put all of my bills on the calendar, how much and when it's due. On the date that it's due, I put how much the bill is or whatever. And then a day or two before I get paid at the beginning of the month, I start my budget. I put different columns for my different pay dates, and I put the bills that I'm going to pay on each payday in different columns, and I tweak it. And that is another tip. Tweak your budget until it makes sense to you. I start with, all the bills before the 15th are paid before the 15th, and then all the bills after the 15th are paid with that check. But based on what bills you have, when your rent is due, when your car payment is due, your phone bill, whatever your high bills are, for me it's my car payment. So because that is a higher bill and it's in the middle of the month, my first check, I end up paying some things that aren't due until the end of the month. They're paid very early, but I'm paying them with the money at the beginning of the month, so it kind of alleviates me spending all of my money at the middle of the month when I have that big chunk coming out. So tweak it to make sense for you and your family. Also, when you're doing your budget, you want to be mindful of events that are coming up, period. Weddings, birthdays, traveling, trips that you want to take with your friends or families, things that are going on at work, with the kids' school, back to school, Christmas, whatever it is. You want to be mindful of the events that are coming up and add those into your budget. So I call those variable income. So for me, I have, my mom's birthday is coming up. My son's birthday is coming up, my bonus son. I know we're going out of town next weekend. Christmas is coming up, or I know that next month my car tax is due because, Carolina, So these are things that I'm being mindful of, not even just this month, but months to come. So a few months before, you always want to know what's going on for your year, so you can start saving little by little. My car tax, I'm trying to save, there's a fly, trying to save little by little, so the whole $100 and something isn't coming out at one time, and now it's a bill. Instead, if I'm paying $20 or $30 a pay period, then it's okay. So be mindful of what's going on in your life, in your family, and be honest when it comes to your budget, y'all. Like, honestly, don't try to lowball what you need for food, for gas, for your kids, for just miscellaneous things. Don't try to lowball these numbers. The whole point is to make your budget a place where you have enough to live the life that you want to live, and then all the extra money you can pay off debt if that's what you want to do. If savings is what you want to do, then you can push some money to savings. But if I am running out of my money that I'm setting aside for food or for gas or whatever, and I have to resort to my credit card, that defeats the purpose because I am working on my credit. Does that make sense? So don't lowball. Yes, if you realize, okay, so I am overcompensating, that I'm putting too much money for food or too much money for groceries, and I can scale back a little bit, then do it little by little and put that money towards something else, whatever your goal is. But you have to be in charge of your money. Another thing, I got my little notes here. Upcoming. So sneak in small payments. For me, I am working on my credit. So so if you look at Dave Ramsey, who is like this credit guru, I guess, I don't know. He says make minimum payments on all of your credit cards, and then do a larger payment with whatever's left on one card. That is a great concept. It works. They have snowball method, they have avalanche method. Look them up if you want more information. What I do is I sneak in a little extra. So minimum payments are, I would rather do a minimum payment than miss a payment. So don't feel bad if you can only do minimum payments. Even if your credit cards are maxed out or you have high balances on them, do minimum payments and then add a little bit more if you can. So snowball, avalanche work. But what I do, say my credit card minimum payment is $25. That's pretty standard. I would pay $35. So it is a minimum payment. It's only a little bit, but I'm still paying a little bit extra. So I'll pay $5 to $10 extra on every card that I have in order to, you know, still chunk at it a little bit. And then at the end, whatever I have left, I'll make that larger payment to whatever credit card I decide is the one that's getting paid off. You know, I'm working on paying off. Work on paying one off at a time. And my suggestion, the credit cards that you don't use. So I have actually that's a whole nother tip. So no credit is bad credit. I don't care what they tell you. If you have zero credit, you are going to get high interest rates. You are not going to get the things that you want. They're going to treat you like you have bad credit because, you know, they have no credit history. You still need to establish credit history. So, oh, son, the sun is in your face, mommy. So I suggest, yes, get a credit card. People say get a credit card, just put gas on it or groceries and pay it right off. That is like amazing. You know, that is for the people who have all the self discipline. Is that it? In the world. But if you're like me, when I was 18, they sent me credit cards. I was like, oh, this is free money. It wasn't. So I got credit cards at places that I don't go. When I was turning 30, I went to New York and Company just because I couldn't find anything I wanted to wear for my birthday event. I found one pair of pants at New York and Company. I had the cash to pay for it. I had no intentions of getting a credit card. And I was like, you know what, let me just see. And they gave me a credit card. I don't shop at New York and Company. But I got that credit card. Every now and then I'll get like a purse or some shoes, something small from there. And then I'll pay it off. I'll just pay it. It's a card that I don't really use. They keep increasing my balance because of my credit history with them. So that is helping my credit because it's a card I don't use. I have no desire to just do the most at New York and Company. But my credit payment history with them is great. So they just continue to increase my balance, which is increasing my debt to credit ratio. Okay. So credit cards you don't use. There's also like a little military credit card. So when I first got it, you can use it for food or anything. Now you can use it for food. So I can see how people, this content wouldn't really work for them. But when I got it, you couldn't use it for food. But I did use it to get new uniforms because yes, we get a little something once a year for a uniform, but honestly, it's not enough. The boots are $200. So I just paid that off because I'm not using it for anything else. So you're just making the additional payments to the credit cards that you don't use because honestly, if things get tight for me, I'm not going to resort to the military credit card or the New York and Company credit card. I'm going to resort to the Capital One or the regular credit cards that I can use wherever. So in order to deter myself from that and make sure that I'm putting aside enough money to give myself the lifestyle that I want, I make the additional payments to the credit cards that I don't use until those credit cards are paid off. And then yes, you need to move on to the credit cards that you are using or would use. And then lastly, last tip, guys, biggest, most important tip. I really hope you guys made it this far. Please hit the like button if you made it this far. Don't forget about yourself. Do not forget about yourself. All work and no play is not good. All savings and no fun is not good. You are going to binge. You're going to binge shop and then put yourself in the same situation that you were in before. So do little things for yourself. I put maybe $40 a month to the side for myself. I know that I like well, I mean, I guess sometimes, but I like Sephora and I like Ulta, and that's why I'm big fans of Sephora, well, at least Ulta, because they have drugstore. I can go in there with $40 and I can come out with a couple things. You know, Sephora is one thing, but I can save up for things that I really want for myself. For if I want a coffee, if I want to put some of my money on my Starbucks card, then I can, you know. So don't forget about yourself. You're working hard, you're working towards a goal. Every month you're chunking, you know, away that credit or adding to that savings and just getting your life to a place where you really, really want it to be. So don't forget about yourself. That is my top, even though it's at the bottom, the last tip, kind of ending it with the bang. Mama, it's the most important tip that I could tell anyone. Don't forget about yourself. Get, you know, whatever it is. And if it's things that you do on a regular, like getting your hair done or getting your nails done, I am not able to do that because of my job. But if those are things that you do to maintain, and that's always how it's been, add them in your budget, period. Don't feel like you can't do or live the life that you wanted to live or have been living, because you do have to scale some things back. You know, you might have to wash your hair in between, you know, freaking going to the hair salon, or instead of getting your nails filled in every week, getting them filled in every 2 weeks. But this is all for a goal. But don't feel like you have to completely change the way that you have been living in the lifestyle that works for you, because now you want to establish credit, build your credit, build wealth, and save money. So I really hope this helps someone. It helps me. It does. When I get off track, I come back and I listen to things like this, because even though it's difficult and you just want to be like YOLO, you know, and just do whatever you want in the moment. You know, we have goals. We want to buy a house, or build a house. You know, we want to be able to save money for our children. We want to be able to be examples to those around us that it's possible. You know, you can start from the bottom, credit wise, and really come out on top. But it takes hard work and dedication. So thank you guys so much. Look, I'm at the grocery store. We made it. Thank you guys so much for watching and subscribing. And there will probably be no vlog this week. I'm sorry. But there will be other fun content. So thanks guys so much. I'll see you in the next video.